Hello, Truth Seekers. So the 4th Psychological Operations Group has come out with a cluster of videos recently. 3 videos posted to their Instagram and 1 video posted to the YouTube. I will share with you my overall perception of these videos, providing an opinion on the intent behind this videography, sharing an optimistic interpretation as well as a pessimistic one. So to more fully appreciate the detail and love put into these videos, I slowly scrubbed through them using video editing software. First, we'll look at the YouTube video Resistance. Now, before I give you a breakdown, I'll start off by saying the title Resistance appears to be a clue to the overall purpose of these video communications by the 4th PSYOP group. I'll tie that up for you later. Resistance starts off with a little staticky screen, as if to imply we're watching something else on the TV introduced into the Ghost and Machine video. This short video features leaflets falling in a forest with a nice violin rendition of the same song used in the original. And we have a look at this here. The leaflet papers appear blank for the most part, except there's this one leaflet that something was inscribed on. To me, it looks a bit like a bear of sorts. So here's the nose, here's part of the mouth, here's one eye, here's the other eye. Here are either some whiskers or claws. Here's a rotund shape. And so early on, we have this theme of encoded communication. To show you where this is, I'll just go ahead and zoom out. So the area of interest is located right there. There's also a bit of an illegible scrawl here, which corresponds there. At the end of this video, you have this Allah sound.
Hello.
So you reverse that.
Hello. Hello.
Not sure what he's saying there. I'll also draw your attention to the bell.
Hello.
The bell right there. In the middle Instagram video that has the staticky TV screen, there is also this same bell, which in a way sounds like an older phone. It's like, whoa. It's right at the beginning. It's kind of difficult to hear. It is followed by this voice that speaks very quickly, but when played slowed down, says this. I see a shadow of myself on a wall. Sounds like it's saying, I see a shadow of myself flat on a wall. And then it immediately transitions to this image of a watch. This is continuing the theme of using timepieces at certain times to convey intended hidden messages, or maybe at least to pretend to convey these messages. The time here is 10:10. We'll return to this. During this scene and in a few other scenes, there's a silhouette of a phoenix or bird. Here's the first one. Then we have the night. Do you believe? And then another phoenix symbol doing that. And it turns into this spider, which looks like a veiled Nazca line reference. Nazca lines are these enormous geoglyphs made in the soil of the Nazca Desert in Peru. Or maybe you're going more the Australian Aborigine type artwork. Anywho, we get this mask on a stick and a staticky TV screen to finish out the video before we get to Psywar. A prominent message from this video that I picked up is the following, and which you can hear in the audio.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
You got to get a hold of yourself. And as it ends, you hear this sound, like two things clanking together. I was able to confirm separately that the audio says, I see a shadow of my profile on the wall. The audio became distorted in a version that I downloaded into the editing software for some reason. So now moving on to the video that features the masked man. It's notable that the video thumbnail is a mask. It starts with the individual looking up towards the heavens. And then this transition to what looks like a black cloth, but it's in a vector shape, which to me reminds of a delta patch spearhead pointing upwards. I don't know why. It's just what came across to me. Maybe we're going for another Delta Virginis Virgo reference. See my 4th POG Psywar analysis playlist on YouTube. As you scroll through, it goes to the space scene. So the individual is looking up at space, thematically connecting to We Are Everywhere from the original video. So this video features a time 9:45, features the mask, which looks to be paper mache. The narrator of this video discusses stimulus response patterns and conditioning as if invoking the concept of Pavlovian responses and response training, operant conditioning. And check out how the video ends.
Many everyday things become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning. You know what? I like that idea.
So we have clang clang multiple times throughout the video towards the end in the context of conditioning. So it's a thematically linked idea where you're hearing the clanging noises and it's conditioning the viewer, like an operation on the viewer, him or herself, ending with what sounds like, Lord, I like that idea. Maybe conditioning the viewer to have a positive association.
You know what? I like that idea.
Right, and so moving on to the last video is the one that starts with a curtain. Interesting symbolism. So just going through the video visuals and ignoring the audio for this clip, we enter a scene showing patches scattered in the woods with rising smoke, and then the words, do you believe, which is a theme also mentioned in one of the other videos. And this ends with this is the U.S. Army Psychological Operations patch. So what popped out to me about this video is that there could be a number of encoded communications with rune symbols or Roman numerals. So in the beginning, we have 3 trees. We have the number, which you can appreciate right there. We have the number 80. Here's 8, and here's the 0. And I'll just comment that I don't know what this is, but I assume it's important. Okay, so now my optimistic interpretation of what this collection of videos mean. First, let's just play through this video with the audio, as the audio itself forms part of the positive interpretation. It starts off with the knocking noises.
There are many people in the world who really don't understand. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth.
So it's a quote from the great John F. Kennedy, who gave a speech at Amherst College at that time telling his audience that when power corrupts, poetry cleanses. The art is a form of truth rather than propaganda. So in the optimistic sense, the 4th Psychological Operations Group is pro-JFK. They recognize that all the world's a stage. The art pen is the weapon. And so in this 5th generational battle stage, influential increasing corruption of the government, the creators recognize that the body politic is absolutely out of control. And so in one of their videos, they give us the message.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
The mass of humanity, the body politic, has to get a hold of itself. The repeating theme of do you believe represents the hope for massive societal transformation into understanding that goodwill will ultimately triumph over the evil and corruption. And also that there might be a white hat 5th column working behind the scenes to help all of mankind reach its highest approximations to maximum potential. In a somewhat selfish interpretation, I've considered looking at this collection of videos as a bizarre personal message to say the individuals behind the videos know who I am and the work I have done and are counseling me to get a hold of myself and are asking me if I believe, given the doubts I've often expressed in this notion of a consortium of good guys behind the scenes using military law to take care of business, righting the wrongs to some degree in this hyper-partisan world. However, I am more realistic than delusional, and I recognize that the impact of these videos is infinitesimally small in the grand scheme of things, at max reaching only 20,000 people at the most. But I do consider all possibilities. In the most pessimistic sense, these videos could be seen as a tease, in a way, of the ultimate intent by the powers that be to engage MK Ultra on the entire public, having us automatically respond to whatever cue they send us, whatever clank clank bell chime that they want all of humanity to either open their wallets for, or barricade themselves indoors for, or turn on their neighbors for. In this case, the video series would be considered both a tease and a brag, assuming the Dark Hats had taken over all factions of the military, including military PSYOP. Anyhow, this interpretation of the series of videos that recently come out by the group is a bit rushed. I don't fall into the pessimistic camp of interpretation based on everything I've seen. If time allows, I may produce a higher quality dissertation of the symbolic meaning of these videos, perhaps. I'll leave you with a clip from Pascal Najati. It's a dates clip, such date, something's going to happen. I'm not sure if we only have a month before interesting things occur, but this guy is indicating only a month. Not to have you guys give your hopes up. We're just gonna have to wait to see where all the chips fall and land. Anyhow, peace.
This whole changeover to the new world.
No.
I've got people asking me every day, how much longer do we have to take this,
I have published the no-fly zone of Mar-a-Lago, which is the White House. And the no-fly zone ends on the last second of the last minute of the last day of May 24. The missile defense system is taken off. On the 1st of June, you can fly with a Cessna, pretty low level, across the wonderful Mar-a-Lago estate.
10-10. Money, power, control. People are simply in the way. Slaves, sheep, pawns. Mass extant events designed to decrease threat level. Gun. War. Selection. Control. Your voice does not matter. Pharma, water, air. Chemicals push for home use cleaning. Baby on floor, hands in mouth, the start. Saxes, not all. Tobacco. Opes, ultimate win. The Fed. Roth. Consp. UK, Germany, 5 days. The choice is yours. Revelation, enough is enough. 9:45. Boom.